All right, good morning. We're back in the camper, and I'm going to be trying to today figure out the best way to tweak the adjustment on this sliding door, because I mean it works fine, it's never been an issue, but it doesn't hang square, as I will now demonstrate. So, I mean, you've got that, and really what you end up doing is, you can move it a good ½ inch, and then it'll hang the way I want it to. And the camper's not quite level right now, but that doesn't really affect what I'm doing. But the issue with that is, let's see if I can get some light in here. It's, at the ceiling, you've got this fascia board, covers everything, and it's caulked to the ceiling. And on the back side, you've got the same thing, caulked. And I mean, the ceiling is textured. So if I cut that to get in there, it's going to look like crap. And I really don't want to do that. The other thing we've got is internally, you can't get to anything on front or back, and it's a captured unit completely. It's not one like a closet door that hangs off of one side. So I've been thinking about how to do it, and I think that you can see the attachment screws there and there. That's the end of the thing. And if I slide this forward, look around behind it, you can see the attachment screw there, and in the back. And that other screw is just the stop for it. It doesn't actually go into anything. But I think the best way to do this is actually pull those screws out and take the entire track out of it, and then I can adjust it without jacking around with all this stuff on the outside of it. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Hopefully without too much swearing, wailing, and gnashing of teeth. But first thing you got is down here is this little thing, and it kind of stabilizes the door, and it's got two square-headed screws in it, but it just pops off like that and then presses in. I know that because it popped off while we were driving early on. Then I pressed it in, and it's never been an issue since. But okay, so now that is just hanging and ready to come down. So I am going to see, after I set my camera back up, if I can get my screwdriver in there and pop those off. Okay, here we are again. And got my screw gun. Hopefully it's long enough. If not, I'm going to have to go get a regular screwdriver. But there should just be enough room to get that out of there when I get this thing unhooked. So ain't held in with much. And these other ones seem to be key slotted, so I don't know that I need to take them completely off. I'm just going to back them out enough to give me some clearance. You can't back them out too much or it won't roll. Okay. because that seemed to have worked. And what we have is the track is now down. You can see I think we can see the little rollers in there. Yeah. Yeah, got two little rollers on each side. It's actually a pretty neat little setup. And I need to, this could take a few adjustments, but looks like I need to lower one and raise the other one. So we're going to figure out how that works now. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly I'm working with here, because there's some weird stuff going on in these little attachments that I don't quite understand. Because, as you can see, there's a thing that unlatches. Once it does, it frees that up to move. And I think that would actually pop right out right now. Maybe see the slot in there. Maybe a little bit better this way. You can see the pin. And I don't know what the hell is supposed to hold that in. Now at this moment I can't get the entire door assembly out of there because it bumps into the toilet and I can't swing it. But it's a possibility that if, and it looks like they do, if I pry that little pin forward, that it's going to come out of its holder there. Same thing with this, which would then allow the top plate to come off. Now I'm pretty bloody sure that I don't want to try to install that. Like, I mean, you're not going to be able to hang this without, you know, with this piece in place. So in that sense it really doesn't matter. I'm also trying to see if I can see any lock nut up there, and I don't know if there is one. So there's a possibility that if this is hung straight, it could loosen. So I'm going to try to see if I can go get a little screwdriver or something to pop that apart and then get this whole thing out of here and take a better look at it. Okay, so we're going to try to see if I can, yeah, sure enough. Just push it forward and it releases. Same way here. Push it forward and it releases. Now maybe I can get this thing out of here. All right, there we go. Okay. There she is. And now I can get the door out of here too. Take a little bit better look at these. Doesn't seem to be anything terribly special about these, other than this strange little latching mechanism. They all seem in pretty good shape. And that back one isn't terribly well centered as far as the bracket goes, but I guess that doesn't matter because it's just hanging on a pin. So we're just gonna set this over here and focus on this. So, as you can see, the brilliant execution of the backstop, I guess it works. And these are pretty simple. There is not much to this thing. And it is truly just that, and height adjustment. There's no stop nut on it. I can't turn it by hand. Height adjustment is done with a 3/8 wrench. So that's what it's going to take. This could take a few pieces of trial and error, but it's actually kind of greasy, so they lubed it. But take a look at the other one. Looks fine. It is kind of greasy. That's all there is to it. That is something. So, I guess that's a good thing. So what I'm going to do now, since we all know how it works, I guess I'll do a quick inspection inside of the... If there's anything too silly going on up here, now that I can see. Seems to be pretty good. Although, now I can vacuum up the construction debris behind that door because I could never get to it before, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just try to get this rail back up under here. And get these little pins to go back in. There we go. There. Where they need to. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Now, since I come around this side, since I was hanging open this way and the back needs to come up, I'm going to use my wrench. Hopefully this is that righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Crank this up a fair bit, because it needed to come up a good 1/2 inch, which is almost all the adjustment that existed in this thing. I'll give it credit, it's pretty stiff, so I don't think it's going to be too terrible when I don't think it's going to unscrew, is what I guess I mean. So now the fun part is going to be putting that rail back up there and trying to get it on the screws that I left in, those little key slots. And I'm certain this came down easier than it's going to go back up, because that's what this stuff does. Hanging. Okay. Now, it apparently looks like I way over adjusted. Yep. So, I need to go way less than half of what I just did. Okay. It's going to take a little bit of trial and error because I can't do it when it's hanging here. So, pop this down again. And again, the camper is not level, so that's why that door keeps opening. Oh. Okay, I gotta go just a little bit more. I'm a perfectionist, and it's not quite gonna cut it. And there absolutely is no way to do this without taking it down. There is absolutely no way to adjust that. I suppose if you had some sort of a 3/8 wrench that could go all the way down in there and grab it and then turned itself, you might be able to perform some sort of an adjustment on this thing. But otherwise, no, this is the only way. Maybe for the last time. Doggone it. I think I'm going to call that good this time, maybe. Let's get it all put back together and then we'll see. Don't forget to install the little push piece on the bottom. Stabilize it so it doesn't flop. Can't see with the door closed. Hardly any gap. All the way down. It's just probably a snot tighter at the floor than in the middle, but yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. I mean, you can rock it a little bit, but compared to what it was, 100% better. and I didn't have to break any of that stuff. So this is simple enough. You just got to be able to get up in there, and you can just crack those things on the key slots because it will slide back and forth, and that makes it pretty kind of easy to hang repeatedly, as you saw. It was just one regular one that you have to pull out, but that has to go back in because that stabilizes this front one, so you know exactly how it hangs. Johnson Hardware.com. JohnsonHardware.com. That's probably where this rail and stuff came from. I guess if you ever needed parts, JohnsonHardware.com. But yeah, so I'm pretty darn pleased with that. And so there you go. That is how you can adjust your sliding door in your camper without having to break apart any of the seams. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you need a couple of tools. You need a screwdriver and a 3/8 wrench. Other than that, really not that bad. So, hope you all have a good day.